You are watching my favorite YouTube channel. I'm Chillmonger. I went ahead and started drawing a star right around the J because I knew that that would be it. Jonathan Majors would win this court case. He lost two of the charges and he was acquitted of the other two. What he became found guilty by a jury of 6 human beings whom I do not value their opinion enough to, I don't know, to change my mind on the matter was harassment, reckless assault. Now they know he didn't intentionally assault her. Took 2 weeks to figure that out. We know that he didn't aggravatively harass her either. But they looked at that video and they decided that those pushes are aggressive. Now, maybe, or rather, are guilty worthy. Maybe if the case, maybe if that video that starts and you can tell that it's a motion detected. So when the traffic all stopped, I guess they didn't really get to see Jonathan Majors before he lifts her up and puts her in the thing, maybe we could see all the berating and attacking. And then they can go, oh, I see what he's doing. He's being attacked, and maybe he's putting her back in there. But maybe that wouldn't have mattered either. They decided not to value the driver's opinion, who was the witness there, telling you she did everything. Those are quotes from him saying that he was trying to get rid of her. Jonathan Majors was saying, let go of me. If that's being quoted, and I guess it was very helpful to have the Urdu interpreter there, it takes the sting or takes the less of the impact of what the driver was saying to hear him say it in one language and then have it described later on and interpreted later on. I guess that affected the way that the communication was. But they decided beyond a reasonable doubt Jonathan was harassing her, even though after that video of him pushing, well, I mean, same video, but after he's pushing her, she's popping back up and pushing her and popping back up and he pushed her on his side of the car, which she had to have traveled towards his side of the car to be there because she's in a pursuit of him. After that, he's walking across the street. She's still pursuing him. Clearly, he's the one that's being attacked, and any sort of motion to push her away is to get rid of her, or rather, I should say, to rid himself. We see his face multiple times wincing, oh my God, you again, after he was done running, after they walked past the three friends, Chloe, Shams, and Max. Oh my God, he does that. That didn't matter. There was not a reasonable doubt that Jonathan Majors caused her finger. The jury actually were asking, hey, give us a clarification on what harassment is. And then let's read what Chloe said about how she needed ice over at the club. She was asking about ice, wasn't she? Yeah. So beyond a reasonable doubt, Jonathan Majors did that to her finger. I could tell you that she's a drunk who scored a 5 on the alcoholics test from the doctor later on in the psychiatric ward at Bellevue. I could tell you that, and that could bring reasonable doubt that she fell on herself, tripped, needed ice for some other reason. Reasonable doubt that it wasn't Jonathan. But they decided beyond a reasonable doubt to dismiss the testimony of this one witness and say Jonathan's the reason why her finger looked purple, and ignore how her finger was perfectly fine all the way throughout the night, all the way throughout the day. Her saying what happened to my finger. Ignore that she was lying in the text because she was text messaging just 13 minutes prior to Jonathan arriving, and she was doing a fake little I need help. Oh, that's what they decided to do. Beyond a reasonable doubt, Jonathan recklessly assaulted her, which has to be because of the push. They didn't ever consider that. Oh well, she did testify. She put hands on him first. She did testify she's stealing a phone. She did. She did testify all that stuff. But I saw a video of him putting hands on her, and just physical contact was made, and the jury decided to believe that there was no reasonable doubt for Jonathan Majors being guilty, convicted guilty. Is he actually guilty? I think everyone with eyes and ears can see that. I think it is a good little reminder to everyone who already knows that, who already knows what his treatment would be if you call 911. He will be the number one suspect. That no, let's just dip out of race for a second and look at the person. He's male, she's female. You will automatically be seen as the abuser just because of the case. So rethink about what you call 911 on, especially for the woman you just broke up with and want nothing to do with. And remember that she wasn't about to press charges. She was still trying to salvage that relationship, sending text messages. No, don't worry, you didn't strangle me. Don't worry, everything's good. We'll make sure everything's cool. We know you have the best lawyers, all that stuff. She didn't want to end the relationship with Jonathan. As soon as the whole thing happens with Megan, well, May 9th, she shows up at the arraignment, doesn't she? He caused substantial pain, she kept saying. I kept reading that in May. But then when she takes the stand, I had adrenaline and I was able to dance. Is that you dancing in the video? Not very well. Man, she was fine all night. And she wasn't even going to testify when Jonathan took these charges to the police. Police said we have probable cause to charge her. In October, that court date was supposed to be when it begins. It wasn't supposed to actually start November 29, but they had to delay it. The district attorney said, we don't have enough evidence. We need more time. Delay it, delay it. What happens between October and November 29 is very telling because she would return to the country. And the messenger, if you remember me covering that article, they said that when she returns to the country, the prosecution, or rather the DA, is not going to prosecute these charges. They're going to just close the matter right away. They said that before it even happened, which goes to show you that there is some sort of agreement between two parties that should you become a witness for us and should you be part of this case, which we delayed, and the October date was supposed to be when it happened. If you become our star witness, we won't even press these because Jonathan just doesn't have prosecutorial merit. I hope that you guys can see and witness the unfairness, the bias, and the systemic racism. Men, whether whatever you look like, but that if this was a black woman that he was pushing on, they would go, yeah, she probably needs to stop being so aggressive towards her. That's not a charge at all. We know that. But men, look out. You really got to think. As I was talking to Dr. Hines, you guys should watch our live stream as we were reacting to the verdict. I also did a live stream with the Dre Max show also. So I've been busy. If you're just seeing this video now going, where's Chill been? I was It's been a busy day, even outside of YouTube. Um, which is, don't worry about that stuff. Go watch me react, and you can see him and Dr. Hines was saying like, "What do? You did everything right. You separated yourself from the situation, stopped the car in the middle of the road, left, distanced yourself, sent her on the way home. You didn't even go to your home. You went to the hotel just so you couldn't be with her. You get these text messages about suicide. You yourself, when you're there, oh, I guess I got to call 911 for her. You do everything that the operator told you to do. You explain everything to the cops arrest you. Now you're in the system. Now, is it the arrests? Is it the charges that the cops arrested you on that took you down? No. The district attorney decided we can just file through the whole day yesterday and look at this video that happened on the street. And what did they do with that? They stuffed it into 2 terabytes of information, didn't flag any of it, but they submitted it and they said, "Here, that's our evidence." And they had to hope that Priya Chaudhry wouldn't funnel through the evidence to try to find that. And then she did, and she eventually did release it to public consumption and leaked it out. And I had been decided a long time ago, a long time prior, that Jonathan was innocent. When I actually got to see a lot of these videos, it solidified my stance. To the cowardly men and women who are going to say, well, the verdict says guilty, so it's for 2 of them for a misdemeanor assaults. For those of you who are going to now hold this against him, that sucks. To the studios, I won't get into Marvel, but to the studios in the future for all of his jobs who control Hollywood, we got to think about why this is such a big deal that Jonathan Majors is getting 2 of the charges guilty. It's probably because, in a misdemeanor, if you're just a regular guy, you're the plumber, you're the bus driver. I keep going back to that one. But if you're just a regular job guy, those misdemeanor cases, charges, whatever, they're a misdemeanor that can continue doing what I want to do. But when your face and the studio rely on you, your brand, your identity, then you kind of need not to be having these guilty charges on you, criminal charges against you, criminally losing these in court. So think about that. Universal, Netflix, Sony, Amazon Prime, Disney, Warner Brothers, Paramount, all of these studios are not, might likely not use him. And that's what we're worried about when we think about these charges. If there was a huge studio as well, I don't know, BET, let's just say they had a studio, we'd say, oh, whatever, who cares? He can do movies for BET. He can do movies that Oprah has a company, doesn't she? We can do those. Or The Rock, he's got $7 Productions. Imagine if that studio was a thing. We're looking at the small studio. We're looking at the studios that do exist, who might consider hiring Jonathan Majors and going, yeah, but the budget for those films, and plus it's not going to be marketed. Jonathan might be out of the picture, the big picture. He's got a film called Magazine Dreams out, which I'll be supporting. I hope it has a theatrical release. We'll do reviews of it and whatnot. My emotional raw reaction is that I never believed in the 6 jury members. They weren't going to control how I felt about this case. I know he's innocent. Keep sticking around here on the Chillmonger YouTube channel, man. Here's the video of me reacting. Go jump ahead to like the 3 hour, 4 hour mark of this video of our reaction. And then Dramac did a video also that's right below. Thanks for the support as always. Thumbs up the video.